Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. How's it going, everyone? Mr. Magoo, Sapphire, Scotty McDuber, Rhiannon Journey. We're back to work. Work. Where's my camera? Huh. Well, this stream might be over sooner than later. Hey, Katu, how's it going, everyone? There we go. I'm back from the ethereal plane. How's everyone doing? Was working on the Grave Escape, a little post-jam version yesterday. I got direct movement working, so you can like walk around and there's some collision shapes that keep you from like walking through stuff. I got to make more of those though. Splicing direct movement on top of a pathfinding system has been interesting. It's kind of a minor disaster, but it's fine because it's just a jam game. So it can end up being just held together by like a bunch of string and duct tape, and that's fine. I just need to be able to get one more build out of it, and that's it. Mahu, you know what's good? Switching to Linux. JetBrains is on there too, native. That's funny. The only machines I'd have that would be running Linux would be my two machines that are stuck on Windows 10. Those might end up becoming little Linux like server boxes or something. Well, one's a little frag box that you would take to LAN parties, and the other is maybe more of a server oriented thing. It'd be pretty slow though, so I don't know. I might dabble, but my main work machine is never going to be Linux. That's an insane maneuver for a game developer. Because then your main testing machine is no longer the OS that most people will play your game on. And that's crazy, especially for a solo dev who doesn't have a QA team. Sapphire, you're not doing bad at the moment. You're doing a bit of work on your game. Style guide, nice. Yeah. Currently working on like a cell tune shader. Ooh, that sounds fun. That's what you said, but here we are. I don't know if that's what you said, Mr. McCoo. You're like making your own OS now. All right, what are we gonna do? We still have some autotiling rules to work out. There we go. Okay, I was like, why was that such a slow boot? Let's run it from Writer. You don't make games on the web. Excuse me. You don't make games on the web, but still test them on Windows. You can do the same in Linux. It's not. That isn't the same, but I understand. I think most software developers should be on Linux. I don't think game devs should be on Linux. I don't like Windows any more than the next person, but that's just where gaming happens. Let's see. Steam. Is this part of the hardware survey? It's more of a software survey, but let's see what the Steam hardware survey currently says for October. There's specifically a Mac graph. Why is there a graph of Mac users specifically? OS version. Windows, 64%. I want to see the rest of these. Oh my God, Windows 11, 64%. Windows 10, 31%. Total Windows percentage points. 94.84, down 0.5%. Shout out to the 0.09% of people still running Windows 7. Linux, 3.05%. This doesn't count Steam Decks, does it? Oh, I guess nobody has a Steam Deck. I'm not trying to be confrontational. I'm just being fatalist. It just doesn't make sense. I don't want to be testing. I don't want my main development and testing device to be the thing 3% of players use. Yeah, I thought Steam Deck would be making that gap smaller too, Sapphire, but I guess not by much. I love my Steam Deck. There's a whole class of games I would only play on my Steam Deck. Rhiannon, you're doing okay today? You got work meetings in the morning, afternoon, and to end the day, so you're very tired. A day spent in meetings is a day wasted, in my opinion. It feels so bad. You gonna be dropping out to vote sometime soon? Oh yeah, don't forget that. If you got something to vote in, go do it. I just did that before the stream. Ketu, you're crazy. You'd prefer Visual Studios? That's a bridge too far. If you said VS Code, sure. I get it. I like plugins too. But actual Visual Studio? Insanity. Why is your OS not on there? I can't wait to see your OS on the Steam hardware survey. Ketu, you're upset. You're pretty upset with the new updates, hamstringing IntelliSense. Ooh. Yeah, I rely on that stuff. It's super noticeable when I'm in the Godot editor. Just the total lack of features compared to what I get in like Rider. All right, what were we doing? I don't remember. Autotiling. One would say on IntelliSense, yeah. I sense a great lack of intelligence. That's what my IntelliSense should tell me. So I think this is working a lot. I haven't decided if I want to have like what I want to do about these overlapping. But I think I actually don't care. I thought about what would be involved in overlays looking at and talking to other overlays, and while it's technically possible, I don't really want to support it. So I think I might just accept that this is kind of just how it is. What I might do is we might try a dotted line for the selection. I don't know. I really don't like the dotted line, so I probably won't. Like, I haven't come up with a dotted line pattern that I like yet. But, you know, never say never. It would probably have to be like every other step. Because I've tried the ones that are like... I've tried these ones. Which are like... No, I probably wouldn't do that. I'd probably do like this. I've tried this sort of thing and I hate it. It looks fine here, but when you actually put it against something, it looks terrible. Like, whatever. This is fine here. But if you alternate them, it just looks so bad. Like, if there's something underneath this. I think what I could maybe do, if I wanted to do a dotted line one, would be like... actually alternate it. Something like this. I might still not like this, but it would be better. Yeah, I still don't like this. So I don't think I'm going to do any kind of dotted line stuff anytime soon. Like, it's okay. It just feels kind of unbalanced. Oh, well. No, that's right. Yeah, it just looks... Well, this one's... No, yeah, these are all right. Yeah, this just looks weird. I don't like that. I'm not going to do anything like that. We're just going to stick with this. All right, so we have some more rules that we need to iron out. Yeah. I think the combination of solid black outlines and solid white outlines so far has been sufficient and good. I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep doing that until that doesn't work. But yeah, I thought it would be neat if, like, you could get rid of the overlapping white outlines between the select and the hover. But the amount of work involved to get them to recognize each other would be annoying. And I can't think of many use cases where overlays need to, like, talk to each other. I guess there are probably some, but I think it's unlikely. So we're gonna stick with that. Let's see what else we need to do here. I know, yeah, we need to do this. We need to do the... We're still missing this one. The top of this one's missing. Gotta add that. What else do we have? I think we sorted all these weird ones out last time. Yeah, I think we're finally done with all these. There are some weird cases, like if I put some walls inside here, I don't know if they'd behave super well. Yeah. So this thing, I need to do something about this interior wall cutaway thing. I think I need to cut them away by default. Or something. Because this half wall thing is... This direction is a big problem. It's one thing for this direction where the taller one is behind the one in front, but the one where the taller one is in front of the one behind, that we can't handle that without the half outlines. So I need to come up with maybe it's like each cutaway wall looks downstream of itself and cuts away everything else that's like touching it. Could do something like that. I don't necessarily want to cut them all away, because then you're missing out on a lot of cool art that you'll never see when you're looking inside a room. But yeah, I need to figure out something to do with that. But that's the cutaway system, which we want to spin off into its own system anyway, so maybe we do that sooner than later. This game sort of looks like FTL. That's sort of what we're going for. Will it be Linux compatible by default, or will you have to port? I mean, it'll work on Linux. I would like this game to run on Steam Deck. Will it work on Linux, you know, from the early alpha? Hopefully. I can build for Linux. I might not like, you know, test for it particularly thoroughly outside of Steam Deck. I know I don't need it to play on Linux for Steam Deck support, but I'd like it to. Yeah, Proton, yeah. I mean, I want it to work on Proton as well, but I would like to do a Linux build. Ketu, your 2 cents is that it looks fine. Like, it doesn't look weird to you when you were overlaying the selection. It reads pretty well. Yeah, I think so. The only other option would be to have 2 versions of the selection or to procedurally build the outline. You're not sure that's something that you want to put it in for. I mean, we are kind of procedurally, quote-unquote, building it, but I think you mean like a shader. And we don't really want to be running a shader on, like, individual tile cells in the tile map if we can avoid it. But yeah, if I had done it that way, I could have gotten something like that. Because this doesn't just affect the outline, it affects regular rendering too. So I have to come up with a... Right now, it's just blindly cutting away in front of the cursor. I think it needs to cut forward from the cursor. And then anything that gets cut that's touching... Like, it'll just... This will get cut automatically, this first one, and then the other 3 will just become cut. It'll do, like, a search. I think that's fine. So I already said what the main outline thing we need to solve, which is this one, which is we need to cast down from above. So these floor tiles. So if we've got a selection here, the floor tiles associated with this, I could get rid of these walls. The floor tiles here need to be casting an outline down. So that's the big one. And then it will at least look correctly when you've only selected one deck and you're not doing like a multi-deck selection like this. There's an inconsistency here too. There's an inconsistency here. I need to decide if you can see a black outline that's not being whited out. I have to decide if I want to do that. The song is nice. Maku, Proton is both your lover and your nemesis. That's funny. Sapphire, you have a Steam Deck as well, so if you ever need help testing it, you're more than willing to help. Oh, I'm sure you'll still be around. Yeah, I have a Steam Deck too. I love it. I only really use it when I'm traveling or whatever, but I really enjoy it. I should play it on the couch more. It's nice. Ketu, would you be able to build auto tiles for both short and tall? As in the short is there and only put in the tall when needed? So you can seamlessly handle the tall walls mixed with short tiles. We can do that for the walls. What we can't handle is partial outlines. Because that explodes. Let me see if I have a copy of the old one we were using. That makes the tile map explode in scale. If we support, well, we call them half outlines. Outlines that only support like the top half of a wall or something like that. Those are horrible. We've decided against supporting those, and we just need to follow through. So this is like the current pattern. Ignore the crazy. This is the pattern of the outlines. Oh, you can't see anything. So this is the current pattern of the outlines. It's pretty compact. It's pretty good. It actually does render half tiles. Like you can... Well, this was a terrible one to use as an example. Here we go. So you can see these are the full walls. Down here are the half walls. So we do have a half wall version and a half wall version of the outlines. What we can't handle is a certain combination of them, which is a full wall is in front of a half wall behind it. So we're just not going to allow that. We're just going to not allow that to occur. Well, it's more complicated than just that. You're allowed to have... Oh, no, you aren't allowed to have that. Yeah, so we just don't allow for that, which naturally almost never occurs. Just the way we've decided to cut away interiors of rooms that isn't compatible with what we're currently doing. But most of the time it's fine, because most of the time what you're going to be seeing is something like this. Notice that all the half walls are in front of the full walls behind them. So as long as we enforce that, we're okay. So like this is fine. But yeah, I think it's a good policy just to cut away all. Just cut away back from here to here. If we need to cut this wall away, we just keep cutting back until we reach here. Should be fine. Excuse me. Ketu, what if you just have short and tall as separate tiles entirely, as in the tall wall is a short wall plus the tall part drawn on top? We could do that. That's doable. That means every wall would need double the number of tile map layers. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth doubling the number of tile map layers for the walls. Just to be able to cover an edge case that we want to engineer out anyway. It's a good idea though. It simplifies the complexity a little bit of the tile set atlas itself. Anyway, that's not what we're working on. What we're working on is these. We're working on these. Let's bring up the auto tile mapping so I actually don't get this wrong, as I often do. Hey, Pheasant SC2. Thanks for beaming up. Have a great stream. Thank you. Appreciate the support. So, not this one. We want to look at this one. So, we're worried about the y plus 2. So the y plus 2 outline is causing us some trouble here. Let's go look here. Y plus 2. Here we are. Oh yeah, I was going to change the radio. Magoo, it's working. You got color and output. Nice, nice. Color. So not has edge position, sure. And not halls.contains key. So this says, is there a floor tile below us? If there is, we're probably fine. Oh, if there isn't. So if there is a floor tile below us, we still want to render this. This might be causing us some problems. Oh, no. This is fine because that's not stopping anything. So this and this, or not mask contains. So if our mask doesn't contain this, and so it's this or, so it's saying, well, we don't need to draw one for this reason. So this says true because we're like, this is fine. And then we come in here and we're like, hold up. But it's an or, so it doesn't hold. So I guess we need an and. That honestly might be as simple as it is. Wait, why are we checking vector3i.x and vector3i.x? Why are we checking in front of us? Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. God damn it. Classic. Classic Dave. I was like, okay, this doesn't make sense now. We need to be up here. I was looking at the wall. We need to be looking at the floor above. Not long to OpenGL or Vulkan. Nice. The first triangle is always the hardest, they say. All right, so this one, the y plus 2. So here, we're here. This is our problem. So if we could normally get rid of the outline, and we're not in the mask, and the one below us is not in the mask. Oh, no. And we're in the mask, and they're in the mask. Or if we're not in the mask, and they're not in the mask. Let's try that.
You believe in ghosts, Buck?
Okay, this doesn't quite do it for us here. Oh yeah, this is what happened yesterday, and I was like, how the heck is this happening? We're enforcing the whole thing. Like, we're just like, here's the whole outline for this face. Why? Okay, it works fine for that. But for some reason, when we try to do this, it just freaks out. That's so weird. How are we affecting all of the outlines? Are we going like out of bounds or something? It's a little strange. This is a weird one. This is a weird one. I feel obliged to like check the tile set and stuff. It's the sort of mistake that I would totally make. That looks right. All right, so what do I think is happening? So if we just do this in all cases, what happens? Okay, that's correct. Okay, what if we don't do this in all cases? Yeah, that's so weird. So if we skip this, it triggers all of the other... Fascinating. That's so weird. So if we don't increment y by +2, everything goes to hell. Such a strange thing. W course.x. Course. Is it possible that, like... No, these look like they're setting the right chords. I don't think the corners could possibly have anything to do with this. We're correctly modifying z and w. X plus y times 4 plus blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there's something weird that shows up. I'm going to see what happens when we do the same thing here. So if we skip that, does that cause the same weird thing with the underlying texture? Oh, I can't. I literally can't tell. I have to hide the outline. Okay, so that weirdness does not affect the normal texture. Only the outline gets so weirdly affected by this change. What did I write so wrong? Coords is coords with y equals coords.y plus 2. That's not that crazy. It's not the craziest thing to say, you know? It's totally normal. And yet, if I don't do it...
Most illogical.
Well, hold on. If we do it normally... Or... So this and this, or... Not this... Actually, what we can do is we can just say this. If mask.contains is not equal to, that's our answer. Let's see if that makes slightly more sense. No, it's still causing our weird problem. See if I put something underneath here. What the heck? Hmm. Yeah, this is a good one. This is a weird one. Well, it's causing something else to happen down here, which is interesting, but that makes sense because I think it's just correctly reading that it can get rid of the outline because of the area above it. But for some reason, it's misreading everything happening below. Just curious. All right. All key.xyz. So ours. So whether, as long as it's like if we're in the mask and they're not, or they're in the mask and we're not, either of those cases should. Oh, this has to be equal. It was literally the opposite conditional. I get so turned around with this because I'm describing the circumstances and when you're allowed to get rid of the outline. And so often in my mind, the way I frame it is when do we need to render the outline? So there's that inversion that I'm constantly forgetting about it. Gotta swing by the store? No worries. Get some nice snacks. All right, that didn't fix anything. Interesting. I totally changed the condition completely and it had no impact, which is interesting. Okay, it kind of got rid of it. What about this? Oh, let's try this again. Let's make this space. Let's make this space. And then let's do this. Okay, still not really. It's still kind of going insane. Kind of. It seems to be working here, which is curious. Unless I get rid of... Okay, no, it's working here now, which is strange. Okay, now it's back to being insane. Huh. All right. I'll be glad to be done with this part, you know? You know what I'm saying? I think this is the last real... Well, there was that one edge case I noticed, but I think that we're getting close to the end here as far as all the weird auto-tiling gaps in the rules. I mean, what's going on here? This is wrong. It says the same thing 3 times. I think we can get rid of all this. I don't think that does anything. I don't know what that was even trying to do. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, we need one more thing. We need to say You wouldn't normally need to do that. I think this is all we need here. .480 Super, nice. That's what I'm running, yeah. You got a 5060 Ti, 16 gig, a secondary 3050, 24 gigabytes. Oh, with Intel i5. That's interesting. What does the secondary give you? I feel like it's long gone are the days of like the connecting your two GPUs with a little piece of tape and like them getting more faster. I think I used to do that. Crossfire, maybe that was the AMD version. I've done that sort of thing before. That's not still a thing, is it? Is it just for testing purposes that you have a 3050? But yeah, this 4080 Super has served me quite well. That was a good investment. It was like $1,000 when I bought it, but the next one up was the 4090, and that was like $2,000, so it was an easy choice. Yeah, no, SLI. That's what it was called, SLI. I don't know why I only remember the AMD version. You're a 3D animator as well. Sometimes you use it to render, also for web browsers and Zoom to reduce load in one of your 3 monitors. Yeah, I was wondering about that. I was like, can you actually assign specific monitors to certain GPUs? Can you do that with NVIDIA? That's interesting. Or the graphics card. So you're using 2 NVIDIA graphics cards on Linux. I heard if you got Linux, just get AMD or whatever. So you're not doing that. Okay, 2, you develop on a laptop that can barely handle 3 web tabs. That's a good test. You gotta have a potato around somewhere to test for sanity checks, you know. All right, so again, why is this causing such a weird catastrophic failure? Here, let me check something. Just wanted to make sure we weren't passing in something weird to this particular layer. It doesn't look like it. Magoo, yeah, 2 NVIDIAs on AMD is most Linux users' worst nightmare. You can't escape them. It's good. It's no. Yeah. Arnia, you think NVIDIA might be the next corporation to be revealed it was evil all along? I mean, they're a $5 trillion company now or something. I don't think you get that way by being the nice guy. That said, I have met Jensen Huang a couple times. He seems like a nice guy. He wouldn't remember me. This would have been a long time ago. He's definitely the CEO's CEO. People in the field really like him. He has 40-something direct reports and doesn't do one-on-one meetings. That sounds nice. All right. So there's not a problem here. I guess there could be a problem here, but I don't think so. I find that super unlikely that there's a problem here in the regular autotiling rule. But it's getting to the point where I need to check something. So this is where we account for cutaways and stuff. So far, we've gotten lucky, and none of the regular autotiling rules have interfered with the overlay. So we've been able to define it additively. Like, we do all the underlying checks, and then we add some overlay checks on top of it. I'm hoping that continues to be the case. Otherwise, we need to maintain a whole bunch more stuff, which I don't want to do. Already forgotten all this stuff. I'm going to say that this is fine. You can't hate Leather Jacket Man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, you know. I know some people who got filthy rich working for that company. It's crazy. I know some people who got modestly wealthy off AMD stock, but so you get modestly wealthy off AMD stock, but you get filthy rich working for AMD, it seems, or working for Nvidia, it seems. It's crazy. I mean, it's not maybe like Valve levels of, you know, profit per employee, but maybe it is. At this point. All right. So why? So why is this happening? Why is this my life here? Where I'm causing some kind of weird breakdown in the normal outlining structure from just changing one value and one axis of the autotiler Atlas coords. Super easy. You think Valve is 1 bill per employee? It's not. It's good. It's high though. It came out some number of years ago. It's around $15 to $20 million of profit per employee, according to reports. It's pretty good. Where do I think this problem is coming from? I mean, this whole check is probably not doing us any favors. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer again. I almost just started messing around with the wrong layer. I'm enjoying this like sleepy little stream we're having today. Very low key. Probably get more hype across the week, across the course of the week. finally had a weekend where I didn't have to really do much of anything. It was really nice. I mean, we did play jam games on Saturday. That was really fun. We played like over a dozen. I think the rating period runs through Saturday, so we'll find out soon. Find out at the end of the week how we did. I'm excited to put out the remastered version of the game. Not remastered. Put out post-jam update that fixes a lot of stuff. I'm going to try to see if I can figure out what went wrong with the stencil buffer. I'm going to ask a friend about it later. So if this doesn't have a positive Y edge normally, and our mask membership is the same as the tile below us, wholekey.xyz, wholekey.xyz plus vector3i.c. Oh, so this can cause us a problem. So I actually do want to phrase it a certain way. I actually don't want it to be equality. That's overly simplified. I think this is correct. I don't think this is going to help us much, but I think this is more correct. Hey, welcome back, Starship. What in the absolute heck is going on here? Is this or and? So not has edge positive Y and mask contains. Oh, yeah, I'm dumb. Here, what if we write it like this? Tabbing is so finicky. Is this it? I think this is it. Let's see if we did it. I think this is better. Yeah, I know it's a little ridiculous to look at, but you've read 40,000 pages of the x84 and x80 or the x86 and the x86 64 developer manual. Jeez. OS Dev Wiki needs better search. I would bet. Hey, Shenanigans. Happy Tuesday. How's it going? How was your weekend? Well, that didn't do much for us, unfortunately. So we're freaking out because the tile below us is empty, which is interesting, but we're not responding to this. Okay, well, we resolved some of it. Emphasis on some of it. What if we do this? Okay, so we resolved some of the problem. Not this problem, though, at the bottom here. And not the core problem, which we've been trying to resolve. So, still run one random-ass bug, plus what we're actually trying to do. Which isn't great. Running into some issues, Magoo. All right. So if not has edge positive Y. I think I want to get rid of this for a second. I think I want to test out just the mask stuff. I think I want to ignore the base stuff and try to isolate the problem a little bit better. You love these streams? Highlights of your week more? Then definitely. Wow, I really appreciate that. I don't see how, but I appreciate you hanging out here. Hopefully this is a chill co-working space, especially if you're dealing with, you know, difficult game dev stuff. This is what I do in the morning. I listen to this woodshop stream. It's like just plays lo-fi and you just hear the soft hum of a shop and you can watch like a CNC machine going, or you can ride along with like the forklift driver. It's all super chill. I love it. I watch it like almost every morning while I'm doing my first set of work. It's brilliant. Glad you found me. Oh, I really appreciate that. Thank you, Magoo. We'll make sure this game runs on your OS. I make very few promises to that end, but but I'll do my best. Nanigans, not too bad. Been a long few weeks. You're going to be taking off every Friday for the rest of the year. A whole week off from the 17th through the 21st. Looking forward to some R&R. Nice, nice. Get that PTO burnt through, you know? Oh, hey. I wasn't even paying attention. Did we actually kind of fix it? Kinda. Weird. Weird. So there's that. It might actually be an underlying tile map problem. That doesn't make any sense. Or it's some interaction between. Huh. It's some interaction between the regular auto tiling rule for regular opaque textures and this overlay one. Fascinating. What language is it? If CPP, then it should be easy enough. I mean, the underlying engine is, yeah. Katu, you actually went to school for machining. You wanted to do rapid prototyping. Unfortunately, the job space for that wasn't very good at the time. Yeah, machining is cool. I don't really do anything around that. I did woodshop for a couple years in high school. I was the TA my second year there. That was fun. But I was mostly just trying to keep the freshmen from, you know, grinding their fingernails off on the tool grinder. Stuff like that. Oh. We got a spam bot. Double spam bot. Ready weapons. Fire when ready.
He's dead, Jim.
Got him. Yeah, shenanigans. I'm trying to slow down my work pace a bit this month because I know December is gonna be super busy for us. I'm just like, please, I need to chill out in November. I need some time. I've also been feeling the burn. That said, our next jams on the calendar aren't until March and April, so I think we've got a pretty, from the stream standpoint, I think we have a pretty chill quarter coming up. We did 2 jams right back to back, which was pretty hard. One in September, one October. And we're gonna do the same thing in the spring. We'll do one in March and one in April. We'll be doing probably Ludum Dare and Down to Jam. We'll probably do the next solo dev jam we'll probably do the summer solo dev jam. If there's like a Christmas winter solo dev jam, I don't think I'm gonna do it, but we'll probably do the summer one. I want to crank up my number of jams next year to like 4, 5 maybe, 3, 4, 5. More than what I've been doing the last 2 years, which is 2. I've been doing 2 a year for the last 2 years. We tried to do 3 this year. I crashed out of Ludum Dare 57, so we tried. So we entered 2 jams 2 years ago. We entered, or a year ago, or whatever you want to say. Last year, we entered 2 jams. This year, we entered 3, finished 2. Next year, I want to enter 4 or 5. I think it'll be fun. I really love jamming. That said, we do need to put in the work on our regular game, on our main game here. So how did this not has edge position Y or edge positive Y cause such a problem? Now I'm concerned. I was convinced that this was fine, but now I'm a little concerned. The thing is, it renders correctly normally, so it doesn't totally make sense to me. All key switch. All type has value. Contains key. Bulk X. I don't see any difference, any issue that would cause the overlay to misbehave. Contains key. XZ. Or cutaways has any. So why do we check down and over? Down and over. This all looks right, which is frustrating. I'm gonna check the bulk line. Yeah, it's very strange. I'm in a very strange spot here. We'll figure it out, though. We're just not going to do it quickly. So if there's no mask here, or if there is a mask, then we also need to make sure the mask below it is right. These are the times we can get rid of the outline. And yet, it's just causing the whole thing to mess up. No, you can't water the spam bots. That's what makes them grow. Also, mistakes in machining are a lot more expensive than mistakes in programming. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I have respect for all the physical engineering, fields that are actually like, building bridges and stuff, buildings and things, where the cost of failure is like real. Not like software. I mean, I guess you could say the cost of failure is real when you look at things like the AWS outages that cost like billions of dollars and like lost like economic activity or whatever. What the heck is causing this insanity with this outline? Because it's not just... It'd be one thing if it was just causing this bottom line to appear. I could understand that because that's what we're working on. But it also causes all of the side lines to appear, which it shouldn't because it's not even affecting those. I'm gonna add some kind of debug rewrite thing or something. I don't know. FTL-like Pog. Hey, Mr. Who Man. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're working on an auto-tiling system for building an isometric FTL-like game. So it's like a lot more 3D. It's like a 3D game space that we're rendering in a kind of isometric 2D. So there's a lot of stuff going on to make that happen. And we're fiddling with auto-tiling rules where there's a bug that we're trying to eliminate. Thanks. Got something to show? That's what we're showing. Just our building tool. That's all we're working on right now. So you'll notice these weird white ladder-like structures. This shouldn't be happening, and that's what we're hunting down. But we have this block editor tool that lets us build these 3D spaces. And our autotiler is misbehaving when we are dealing with... Huh. Okay, that's curious. Yeah, I don't know what's causing them to like hard lock with these on. It's super strange, this sawtooth effect. Especially because it doesn't happen anywhere else. It only happens on the bottom level, which is interesting. Very strange. It's not 3D, or it's ortho 3D. It's all 2D. This is all tile maps. The game data is in 3D, so it's a 3D space, but it's being rendered via tile map layers. So the whole rendering of the game is in 2D. Diginanigans. Yeah, you're into pretty much every kind of building things. It was Legos as a kid. You enjoy woodworking, electronics, 3D printing, various craft stuff. That's so cool. You heavily gravitated into programming almost exclusively from the fact there isn't a large barrier to entry. It doesn't cost an arm and a leg and materials. Yeah, for me, it's space. I don't have space to have like a 3D printer and stuff. Like I live in a studio apartment in a city, a metropolitan city. I don't have space. If I had a garage or something, I would be back to puttering around with all sorts of DIY stuff. Someday, maybe. I'll be lucky. I'll have like a garage or something I can use. Damn. Yeah, damn is right. It would have been easier to do this in 3D, but we're doing very high fidelity pixel art. I say high fidelity. I mean, it's like very low resolution, so it's very crisp pixel art. And I didn't think I could achieve that with 3D. So now that I've made a few 3D games since starting this project, if I started over, I would be tempted to make another crack at doing this in 3D. I just don't think I would get the right kind of down res look. But it would have been easier. We would be much further along. But I think this will look really sick when it's done. All right, so Y. So not has edge positive Y. You all call this. Like, there's nothing different between your version of this call and my version of this call. We're not initializing with anything. Oh, wait. Whole key. Whole key. Whole type. Hulls. Whole key. Ooh, is our parameter wrong? Are we missing something? Or do we just not use this? Do we not use hull type? We don't use hull type. What am I talking about? I'm gonna look down here. Not has edge positive Y. And mask contains this. Mask contains that or. Whoa, chat blew up. What do we got? Sapphire, guess what? You're actually working on your game style guide at the moment. Currently trying to figure out a self-tune shader. Oh yeah, you mentioned that. Oh, you're telling Arneo. Right. Magoo, you have a 3D printer right next to you and a garage portion for your electronics, hardware, and chemical needs. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, there's a hackerspace that I hang out in once a month. If I really wanted to, I could do more stuff there because they have all the accoutrements I would need, like machines and stuff. That'd be cool. It's like an hour away from me though, is the problem. So I don't want to go there very often. But that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Ketu, you want to get into robotics at some point? That's part of why you're doing all your games with your own engine. You got to learn the low-level stuff. Yeah, low level. Got to be low level. You don't want to pay the abstraction tax. The abstract tax. The abstracts tax. Supposed to pick the shader? Yeah, please share your work later. Yeah, I'm really interested to see what your game looks like. You got more of an idea of it. All right, so the way I've nested this seems to be causing me pain. So if we're not part of the mask, or we are part of the mask, and the tile below us is part of the mask. Oh, this is wrong. This is wrong. I feel like we tried this before and we didn't get better results, but we're gonna try it. I'm just going back to what I had before, but plus vector 3 I dot z. So it's this. So it's either. So again, I feel like I want to just go back to the equals. Because it's either we have this and they have this, or we don't have this and they don't have this. So I could just see if they equal. That's equivalent to saying and mask dot contains whole key is equal to mask dot contains our lower neighbor. These are the same thing. These are two different ways of saying the same thing. So let's try to say it this way, which is the worst way. Magoo, you're so low level, you had to write an abstraction layer in assembly. You're hardcore. You're hardcore. Was I able to see your project? I'd popped in for a few minutes. Can't remember if you launched the project for me. You showed me your test area. It was like a grainy 3D environment. It looked cool. Okay, so again, totally freaking out here. Also, don't understand why the upper outlines are also messing up. Super insane. And if I do this, at least that goes away. So that's something. Now it's back though. Well, we want something to draw here, so that's, I guess, better than nothing. Thing I don't understand is this, let's draw everything all the time. That's wild. Ooh, this is gross. This is also a problem. What if I do that here? Okay, well, at least it's something. It's something. We do want the tile above to render. We just only want it to render its lower outline. I don't understand why it's rendering literally everything. That's very weird. It's super weird behavior. Even weirder that it works kind of normally there. It works pretty normally if there's something below us, but if there's nothing below us, it freaks out. I have an and somewhere. It needs to be an or. All right, I have an idea of what's happening. I actually don't know if I can. This is weird. The traditional bottom outline check actually doesn't work for us here. Well, for one thing, let's see if we actually get the same behavior with the thing above this. If we get the same behavior with the one-line version. Shenanigans. These are the bugs that never end. Yeah, they go on and on. Started building an autotiler not knowing the complex scope. The outline bugs continue because that's just how it goes. That's funny. The song of the autotiler. All right, this is the same. Yeah, everyone else is an, well, not these, but a lot of these are ores. This one's an ore. All right, let's see. Let's see if we did something. Hey! Well, we did something. We don't quite. We're not quite there yet. Oh, what the heck? That's weird behavior. All right, we're getting closer. Oh no, why are you back?
The first flame quickly fades. Darkness.
All right, I think I understand the problem. I think we actually don't want to do this part.
Flames will
I think we can't rely on the traditional lower edge check. There's something there that's just, that doesn't work for us in this case. Which is fair. We're gonna just try this. We'll see if the one line auto tiling rule is exactly what we needed. Almost. Almost. We're still getting this freak out, which I don't understand. I don't understand the whole, like, freak out. Draw all of the outlines. This part doesn't make a lot of sense.
Tiny flames will dance across the darkness.
I think we're gonna have an else. Else. Debug, right line. Chords. I want to see what these chords are that we're getting. In this case. It was super weird. Zero, 1, 2, 3. You ate too many pancakes, Arneo? That sounds like a great problem to have. Huh. Okay. Okay, one more Sandy. No. Maybe one more quick check of the file here. So many pancake jokes in the chat. Okay, this looks really close. This is weird. And in fact, this shouldn't be happening, what we've got here. Oh, is it because of the ore? It is because of the ore. So we really do want to make this work so that there's an and here. Well, I guess we don't want an and. Thanks for the stretch, Katu. Okay, it reappears there, which is perplexing. Not here. Yeah, I think there's a general auto-tiling rule that's interfering with us. And I have to decide how I want to deal with that. If I can't work around it. I think there's an auto-tiling rule that doesn't apply to overlays. It just applies to regular textures. That's normally fine, but for us is like causing some problems. Gotta surrender to tiredness. No worries, thanks. Thanks for hanging out, Magoo. Go take a break. If I could figure out what is interfering with the other sides, with the X value, I think I would have a lot easier of a time with this, but it's just so weird that I have a problem with that. I'm having a problem with the W's maybe or something. These are W's. And look at the 3 1s. Where are the 3 1s? Where should those be? This is all correct. So yeah, sorry we're not making much progress today. I'm just trying to think through this. Some of the last real thorny autotiling rule issues here. Atlas chords, Atlas index, buffer comp width, buffer comp width. Wait a second. Negative. Oh my god. Wait, hold on. No, this is right. Wait, then why is it... How are we ending up here? It's up. It's negative, then positive. So we should be seeing... When we were doing this... Oh, come on, Sprite. Closing Sprite just totally fried everything I had that visual. All my visuals. I have no idea what's going on. Wow, that's the first time that's ever happened before. Alright. It looks fine, maybe? Maybe it's not. My OBS screen is frozen, so I can't see anything, but it looks like things are still going. I closed Sprite and my whole computer display went insane. Alright, I'm back. I'm back at the stream manager. Sprite just said, if I'm going down, I'm taking you with me. Yeah, apparently. It looks like everything's okay, though. Let me know if not. I have literally no way of verifying that. OBS looks like it's frozen. But But as long as you see everything, it's great. OBS is pretty great. OBS will tell you it's crashed, but it won't crash until you click OK. Until you click OK, OBS will continue to work most of the time, even after it's told you it's crashed. It's pretty good software. A-Sprite's still frozen up, though. So you see my camera, you just don't see anything behind. You don't see, like, JetBrains or anything behind me. Oh, Nanigans, you can see everything normal? Okay. I changed the scene real quick. I can't see any difference, but as long as you're saying it's all right, that's all right. All right. Okay, it's reporting a bunch of 0200s, but that's not what this is. Huh. There might genuinely be a disconnect somewhere where something's like mistranslating from like the tile coordinates. I don't really understand what's happening here. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's something. I'm gonna retest this in the engine. It does a better job of telling me what's going on while I'm running the game. It's reporting this as 0200. And that's... Oh no, I guess that's right, huh? So this is right. Well, it's sort of right. What's weird is this. What happens when I do something like this? And this is... Oh, that's why. It's being said that. We call that. Alright. There's a lot of super weird stuff happening with this particular tile type. Well, we made some progress. We haven't fixed it, though. I have maybe slightly more understanding about what's happening. Slightly. Our corner thing isn't working really, though. Well, maybe it is, but it's not thinking about the other stuff. We have to deal with the... I think we have to deal with the plus X plus Y. I have a hard time believing there's anything wrong with the system with the format that we've described for how to convert from the autotiler coordinates into anything else, because we use that same format for literally everything. So I don't think there can be a format issue there. I think we would have seen it. But that's pretty bold. That's a pretty bold thing to claim. Hey, Alex, did you miss anything important? Not really. We've done very little today. We've been kind of chipping away at some auto-tiling bugs. Haven't quite gotten it yet. There's something weird going on with this one side. How are you doing? You love when Twitch breaks and freezes? Is Twitch messing up for you? You're doing good? That's good. Yeah, there's something going on here. So it's giving me the full... So why? Why is it giving the full thing here? Not has language and... I'm gonna try some stuff in an unrelated area and see if that does anything for us. Because I still don't see how we're affecting the other sides. Okay, that's weird, but we can maybe work around that. That's also weird. But maybe this will point us in the direction of what's going on. Not really. Well, we still get all of that, so that didn't do anything. I was hoping it would get rid of some of that. Super strange. What are you making? Yeah, we're making an isometric 2D version of FTL Fast and Light. Oh, StreamerBot had a fatal error. That's not good. What is FTL? It's a classic game called FTL Fast and Light. I say classic. That makes me feel old. It's from like 2012. But it's the classic like starship management game. Where you command a little starship and its little crew and its little systems. I want to do kind of an isometric version of this. It's a lot more layered. So we're spending a lot of work on a block editor tool and isometric autotiler so that we can render these ships in a 2D isometric. Yeah, the fact that you called FTL classic, yeah. I have to. If it to be fair, it was an instant classic. But there are literally games that are like very, very clearly in that lineage. It reminds you of those old Nokia games. Man, you must have played some pretty cool Nokia games. City blocks. I'm not familiar, but let me see. Interesting. Huh. Quake is classic? Yeah, Quake is classic. That's indisputable. Huh. Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on here. We've slightly improved the situation today, but really not much. I really just don't know what weird things are occurring here. There's got to be something here causing us this. Maybe it's this hulls contains the key thing. Not hulls contains key. Plus XZ. That's such a weird thing to do. So we're going down and we're going forward along our face. And we're looking for the bulk Z tile that's there. Actually, that's a good question as far as who has drawing priority in that case. I actually don't know the answer to that. I think it's the tile, the floor tile above. Because a wall has a 2Z index value higher than a floor, but a level has a 4Z index higher level than the floor below it. So, or than the level below it. So I think the higher level floor still writes over the lower level wall. That can't be it. There's a cutaway query here. Personally, you've never seen someone use IntelliJ IDEA or IDE. This is JetBrains Writer, but close enough. It's good. I think it's the predominant C# editing suite. I don't do my GD script stuff in here. I just do my C# in here. So when we're game jamming, we never touch this thing. This is just for like this project. This project has a lot written in C#. Use VS Code. Yeah, VS Code is fine. I think VS Code is a smart thing to use. It's got all the plugins, right? It's very flexible. I've just always used Writer. I've used Writer for many years now. Before that, I used just the free version of Visual Studio that came with Unity. So I was always on like Visual Studio Community 2019 or whatever. At a certain point, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I chose Writer. I like it. I think it's worth it. You end up paying less for it each year you have it. So it's kind of, at this point, it's like sunk cost. It's like, well, I might as well stick with it. It's actually been improving its Godot support a lot. Saying VS Code doesn't consume a lot of resources is probably true unless you have like a generative AI plugin. At which point it's consuming many resources, just maybe not yours. But yeah, whatever works. I think it's quite wise to use VS Code. I think there's a lot of value in just using the default that everyone else uses. Like, use whatever everyone else uses. A lot easier to understand when people have problems if you try to help. All right, yeah, I have literally no idea what's going on here. So I think we're gonna pick this up tomorrow and just keep working on this. But it's cool if we can solve this overlay problem. That's pretty much it for the autotiler. The overlays are the only other unique kind of material we're trying to render. There's just the opaque underlying texture and the like semi-transparent overlays, and that's like it. So if we can get through this, we're good. We're good with the autotiler. Just this is one of those, the last 10% feels like 90% of the work. I know it's not, it just feels like it. I'm reassuring myself more than anyone else also. Is an important thing to keep in mind. With Z is hallkey.z plus 1. That should be fine. Usually I just do this, but I understand we're rebuilding the struct anyway, so. It's probably better to write like this, though. Oh. I think I like that better. That doesn't really matter. Well, this is maybe just better to do it once. Yeah, probably better to do that. Well, being done with the autotiler is not the same as being done with the tile block editor. Those are very different things. Or the block editor tool, or whatever you want to call it. Just because we can auto-tile everything doesn't mean we can build all the stuff we want to do. IntelliJ is JetBrains as well. Yeah, I'm aware of that. Foundation they started Writer from, with some major refactors and focus specifically on C#. Yeah. I'm a C# boy, so I use Writer. It's not a game all about autotilers. We'll see. We'll see. All right, yeah, I'm annoyed at this. We're gonna probably pick this up tomorrow. I know it's a short stream today, only a couple hours, but I got some errands to run, and I'm not making any progress with this right now. Tonight, I'm gonna keep working on the post-jam version of Grave Escape. It's going to add direct movement and some quality of life stuff. Maybe stencil buffering if I can figure it out. So that'll be fun. But yeah, I'm going to save. I want to save some dev energy for that tonight at my co-working, my Tuesday night co-working that I do Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. So I think I'm going to give up for today. Who knows? It might help to just come back tomorrow with fresh eyes. It might not, but it might. The dev energy. Yeah. That dev energy. Ciao. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate everyone hanging out. Hopefully we'll have a fuller stream tomorrow. I know I started late today. But I don't think I've got any scheduling issues, so we should be doing every day this week. My usual Tuesday through Saturday schedule, so bit of a slow start to the week. I trust that the stream's still running okay. I still just see a frozen screen from like 20 minutes ago. But yeah, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.